Okay, you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, dear colleague. Good morning, everybody. It's a great pleasure for me to join this meeting of very great importance for NENALAB and Global as well. So considering its performance, NENALAB is a reference in terms of objectives achievement of global dynamics. If you see the curve for the network of NENALAB, it is always growing, meaning the network is really hard working. And in terms of objectives achievement for Brussels, which is harmonization, we're really satisfied. So far, the, 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 the commitment of yours is growing times to times year by year from 2000 up to now. What we are really observing for NENALAB is a positive change, growing and hard working. So in terms of expectation and hope, we're sure that NENALAB is going to help us achieve what we have as targets. And as we are gathered here today for the fourth meeting of NENALAB, we do expect a good work plan is going to come out from this work and a very appreciable results, nice ones to be achieved in 2024. Dear colleagues, I encourage you once again in the names of all Global Steering Committee, the coordinator, the vice chair, to have a very good work. Indeed, I wish you a successful meeting. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum. That's all, Mr. Filippo.
Alaikum salam. Thanks a lot, Mustafa. Thanks for being with us and indeed for your kind words. So Mustafa is the current chair of Glosolon, was elected in November. And so I personally thank him for being with us and to share the greetings from all the Glosolon steering committee for NENALAB. As he mentioned, this is the first meeting of NENALAB. We did not organize, unfortunately, and I'm sorry for this, the meeting in October, as we normally do, because there was an overlap with so many other meetings and events of Glosolan and the other regions. However, we are here today, hopefully to revise a bit the work plan of NENALAB, trying to reinforce and strengthening again the network. Now, before proceeding, I would like to give the floor to the NENALAB Vice Chair, Mr. Abdelmajid Zohri from Morocco, who was actually the chair of NENALAB for the first 2 years of the network, and now is currently serving as Vice Chair. You may know that the chair that we elected in the NENALAB meeting of 2 years ago, Riham Zaalam from Syria, actually could not serve anymore as NENALAB chair because she got another job within FAO. So it wasn't eligible to continue the tasks. Therefore, I'm really happy and thankful to Abdelmajid, who agreed to open the meeting today to give some remarks on behalf of as a vice chair of NENALAB. So Abdelmajid, thanks a lot, and I will give you the floor for a few remarks. Thanks again.
Okay, thank you, Filippo. Donc, it's a great pleasure for me to represent and to speak on the behalf of the chair of NENALAB. So, first of all, I would like to thank FAO-GSP, Glossaman, and all the network of our network NENALAB. And I welcome all the participants from the different countries and the representative of different labs. So just to give you some figures about our network. So the network currently counts 103 laboratories from 19 countries. So there are many activities that have been carried out. Sure, we hope to have more and more activities, but I think that with the commitment of the different participants and the diversity of their charge, so we do as we can. So I think that some interesting work. So our network, so the main activities is the participation of the NENALAB with the Africa also in the proficiency test. And I think that it's a very interesting opportunity for all the labs to assess the precision and the accuracy of labs in the region, and also to give a chance to some laboratories to test, to participate to this exercise, very interesting, in order to try to improve their techniques, and also to test their methods used, and the ways that they conduct their analysis. And I think that is a very interesting opportunity for all the labs that will participate to this meeting and to this proficiency test. Another interesting work also is the publication of the regional assessment of soil laboratories capacity and needs in the nearest and North Africa. So also different countries and different labs have participated to this report, and they have been assessed by experts, and which they help them to improve the efficiency and in their labs. And I think that in the agenda you have a place to talk about this report, which is, I think, that is very, very interesting for the labs that participated from our network. I think that it's the main things that I would to focus on, and I hope full success to our meeting in the coming. Okay, and thank you very, very much for your attention.
Well, thanks a lot, Abdelmajid, because I think you highlighted really the two main topics that will be also covered today. So one is the proficiency test for NENALAB that we are about to launch, basically that we already launched, because laboratories were already invited to join the PT, and we will further discuss this later on today. And basically, I'm very happy about today's meeting because this will be a nice occasion to discuss more about the PT. We will provide you some instructions on and timeline about the PTs, and a little bit of background and framework in which the PT is located in the framework of the global activities. And of course, the report. The report on the laboratory needs for the NENA region that has been conducted last year. And today we have with us Mr. Dafalla, who is the main author of the report. And I think it will be very interesting to listen from that, because we will have a nice overview of what are really the needs of laboratories in the region, because that would allow us to define better the roadmap for the next years, basically. Well, I will, before proceeding to the next item, I would like to ask you to turn on your camera, if possible, so we can make a group picture, like a screenshot of all faces present in the meeting, and then we can make it available online. So please turn on your camera. I will give you a few more seconds to allow you to do that. I see there are representatives of both Northeast and North Africa and Near East. So thanks to all representatives. Just a second. Yeah, okay. Smile. Great.
Yes.
Okay, just a second. Great. So many thanks for that. I will now share my screen to give you some updates on NENA. on NENALAB, and I think we got some updates already. Some topics have been covered in the introduction today, but let me go more in details on the current activities and happening not only in NENA but in Glossoland itself. So global and regional activities. I think you may be able to see my screen. Great. So regarding NENALAB, yes, this is the fourth meeting, as I pointed out, but I will give you a little bit of framework. I will give you more on the framework where Glossoland acts, basically. So this is the strategic framework of the Global Soil Partnership. So we try to convert in this kind of illustration what are the activities of the Global Soil Partnership. You may remember that before we were talking about pillars of action, while today we are more focusing on action areas. So this is the overall framework because, of course, there are many challenges, global challenges, from climate change to pollution, to biodiversity loss, food security and malnutrition, degradation of soils. And the solution, according to the FAO, is the soil health and the healthing of soil degradation. To do that, there are different actors. So focal points, partners of the Global Soil Partnership, regional soil partnership, technical networks, and as technical networks, Glossoland is part of that, meaning that Glossoland is here reported under the action area of assess, map, and monitor soil health in an harmonized way, meaning that laboratories are really key in all this framework because basically are the institutes providing numbers, assessing soil qualities, and Glossoland more details as a key role in providing accurate and precise data. So good quality, high quality soil data and information, because these are used for everything, to assess, to monitor, to map soil properties. So this is why Glossoland is established. Maybe most of you know about Glossoland since the very beginning, but as we also have new laboratories in this meeting, it would be nice, I think, to talk about Glossoland more in from a wider perspective. So Glossoland was established in 2017, really to focus on laboratories, to support laboratories in strengthening the analytical capacity, harmonize protocols and standards, because laboratories is where soils basically become numbers, and these numbers are used by farmers, governments, mappers, a series of customers to make decisions on the ground. So it is important that these numbers, these data are accurate. Currently, there are more than 1,000 soil testing institutions registered in Glossoland. You can see the map coming from all over the world. There are laboratory representatives that are taking part in Glossoland activities. The laboratories are operating in 170 countries. Really, very few countries are missing, and this is a success, really, because laboratories are engaged in that. Thanks also to you. Glossoland is structured is a global network, but it's structured in regional networks, meaning that there is a global governance, the Glossoland Steering Committee. I'm acting as Glossoland coordinator, but then there are regional networks to better downscale the activities of the network, right? So in the case of NENALAB, all the laboratories operating here in the yellow area, so in the Near East and North Africa, are grouped together into NENALAB. And of course, there is the other step to those scaled activities. So national soil laboratory network, meaning that laboratories are grouped together into national networks. And this is something that is happening. So we are trying to encourage laboratories to establish their own national networks under the leadership of the national reference laboratories in Glossoland from the country. So of course, everything is done through a participative approach. So you may see there are some people that even today will be elected as chair of this NENALAB network, because everybody can take a role. And even if you're not playing a role in the governance, you're playing a role in participating to the activities of the network. So proficiency test, harmonization of protocols, working groups. And this is the key of Glossoland. Everyone can participate. And the idea is that the more performing laboratories are helping those laboratories that may have issues. So we are trying to exchange capacities. On the left here, there are the list. This is the list of the members of NENALAB. There are about 103 laboratories. On the right, there is this graph about the growth of the network. So Mustafa was right. Indeed, NENALAB growth since its very beginning. And we are about now 100 members. Of course, we would like to continue growing. So in case you have you're in touch with any laboratories operating in your region or in your country, please encourage them to register in Glossoland, because it's important that more laboratories are registered in the network, so we can engage with them with the activities. We can know better about what are their needs and capacities in order to support them. Now, I will give you some updates about the Glossoland SOPs and the Glossoland activities in general. So as you know, Glossoland is working on many different topics. One of the main activities of Glossoland is the harmonization of the standard operating procedures, so-called SOPs, indeed. So these SOPs include instructions, step-by-step instructions on the determination of certain soil properties, but also include areas on quality control, health and safety, sample preparation, sample collection even. And the power of these documents is that they are available for free online and may ensure the replicability and interoperability of data, because the standards are accessible to all laboratories, meaning that all laboratories may measure soil parameters in the same way, making data comparable among laboratories and countries. So these laboratories originally targets only chemical parameters of soils, but in the recent years, we started also working on biological and physical properties. So you may be not familiar with the last SOPs that have been published. I put them in the blue square here in the bottom left corner of the screen. So there are the SOPs available on the Glossoland website, not only in English, some of them are also available in Arabic, in French. So I think will be very important for some of you that are more familiar with these languages. There are SOPs on respiration rate, on soil moisture, on cation exchange capacity, micronutrients, quasi-total elements in heavy metals, microbial biomass, bulk density, and other SOPs are about to be published. So like, for instance, boron and particular organic carbon and microbial enzymes will be soon released as well. So I really encourage you to have a look to the Glossoland webpage, because you may be not familiar with these new published SOPs. And even if your laboratory is not yet performing the analysis of such parameters, well, having a look to these SOPs may give you like an insight on the needed capacity, equipment, so that you can get familiar with the procedure and then start the determination yourself as well. Again, this is how the Glossoland website look like. So you can access all the different languages for certain SOPs and download the protocol. This is an example of the well-claimed black SOP available in English, Spanish, and even Russian. And also there are some training material that is available online with subtitles you see in all languages, even in Arabic here, where you can go through the procedure thanks to the help of other Glossoland members. So these are Glossoland members from, for instance, Thailand, Philippines, Russian Federation. They went through the methodologies and make this training video for you to be trained on them. So this is something also you may do yourself if you want. If you're willing to shoot a video of certain procedures, we may give you some guidelines and you can do it from your laboratories. You can also do it while you speak French or Arabic, for instance, and we will add subtitles below. And these are a powerful tool because they got around 10,000 views in about 2 years. So meaning that we should continue working on this and making training videos on other Glossoland SOPs and technical documents. So capacity building, there have been many events this year to build the capacity of laboratories. So both in-person training, webinars, even publication. For instance, this one about how to set up a new soil laboratory, which I think can be very important for some countries in the NENA region, where, because I hear about new laboratories that have been established in the region or are willing to be established. So that I suggest you to have a look to this publication, because it may provide you a nice guide. Nice guide through to the process from really before the starting up to the advanced phase. So there are many technical materials and guidelines on different topics that have been established and developed. So health and safety, even soil spectroscopy, quality control. I really encourage you to have a look to the Glossoland website, where all this information are available. I will put the website link in the chat in a minute. Again, Glossoland PT. This is the overview of the global PT that have been done in 2022, where some laboratories from NENA also, from NENALAB, took part in. We target carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus using various methods. And the sets was made up by 10 homogenized soil material, having 5 replicates inside. The outcomes were pretty interesting, because meaning that precision and accuracy remain really an issue for many laboratories in the world, in many, many regions, even in those determination process, even in those procedure where automatization is a key component, still there is an issue with accuracy and precision, meaning that Glossoland will continue organizing PT, will continue monitoring the performance of the laboratories, and will do this not only at the global scale, but also at the regional scale. This is why a regional proficiency test for NENALAB, together with AfriLab, is about to be implemented. And Michael Watts will soon talk more about this in the next presentation. Again, Glossoland spectroscopy. I know some of the laboratories present today are interested in soil spectroscopy, already are performing soil spectral analysis. Well, Glossoland has an initiative on soil spectroscopy called Glossoland Spec. You can find all the details online. There are webinars organized on the topic, training material, session, workshops, everything is there available for you, all this material. You can join the Glossoland Spectroscopy Initiative. You can ask me, I will put you in touch with my colleague organizing and coordinating the initiative, and you can get familiar more with spectroscopy if you wish, or even join other laboratories if you're already performing this kind of measurements in your laboratory. Now, very briefly, as you know, in November, there was the 7th Glossoland meeting where the decisions are made for the year from the network members. So I want to give you an overview of these decisions, because these are activities that you will be also kind of asked to contribute to. So a global assessment for laboratories will be launched around next week. So you will receive an email where you will be asked to complete a survey, an online survey, which will have information on your needs, your capacities, the outreach of the Glossoland initiatives, and your feedbacks is extremely important. So please reserve a couple of minutes to complete the survey that we will send you. This is important because the results of the survey will allow us to make a report, as done in 2018 and 2020, about the needs of laboratories. So that will allow us to draft the pathways, the strategy for Glossoland for the next years. So for us, it's very, very important that you fill in the survey. So please answer the survey. So the NENA region also will be included in that. Health and safety will have a nice, like a great role in 2024. We will start the delivering of new personal protection equipment as done in the past. So new lab coats and safety glasses will be distributed. New webinars on risk assessment in the laboratory, and there are also some guidelines on how to dispose reagents after analysis are about to be published. So some material also on health and safety hopefully will be useful for all of you, hopefully, this year. Quality control, again, we will continue the capacity building actions on quality control. A cookbook on statistical analysis is about to be published that hopefully will guide you in the preparation of a national proficiency test, because this will allow you to make the statistical analysis after collecting the data of the laboratory participating to the proficiency test. And of course, we are here to support countries to implement proficiency tests. So in case you are willing to organize a national ring test, please contact us. We will be happy to support you in organizing it, in implementing it. In all the phases, we'll be able to support you. And as I already mentioned, a regional ring test is about to be launched in the region. So we already asked you details. A launch has been called. Next week, we will start distributing the samples. we are arranging the shipment with the FAO office in your countries, meaning that we will ship the samples to the FAO office in your countries, and then you will visit the FAO office to take the samples. Or if your laboratory is located very far away from the FAO office, we will arrange another shipment to your laboratory. But as you know, we contact you, I think, twice or 3 times even, and we got about 85 participants from both NENA and African region. So there is still a little bit of places available. If you didn't register to the NENALAB PT, please contact me. You are still in time. Really the last days to register. Equipment, together with the not only personal protection equipment, but also some basic equipment will be delivered in this year and in 2025. And also we will organize some webinars on how to manage, purchase, and use laboratory equipment. SOPs, as I mentioned already, there are many SOPs ongoing, reviewing, but this year in particular, Glosland will work more on the review of the SOPs that have been already published, on the finalization of the SOPs which are pending, and the translation of the Glosland SOPs, especially in Arabic and French, where we lack most of the translation. So hopefully we will make SOPs more accessible in this year. During this year, we will continue collaborating with the other technical networks of the Global Soil Partnership, and we will be asked as Glosland, so NENALAB as well, to support the organization of the FAO Symposium on Soil Information and Data that will take place in September in China. So Glosland Steering Committee and Technical Committee will be asked to review all the concept note and the information and the organization of the symposium. But Glosland members and NENALAB members will be hopefully expected to participate to the symposium, which will be hybrid, meaning that you will be able to submit abstract, and the focus of the symposium is really on soil analysis, because it will be on soil information and data. So soil analysis, soil data quality. So you are really strongly encouraged to submit your abstract and participate to the symposium. More information will be available starting from March about abstract submissions. Again, we will try to strengthen the regional networks, as we're doing today for NENALAB. Other activities will include laboratory management, so some guidelines on how to manage the resources of the laboratories, and also on laboratory information management systems. Lastly, a calendar on Glosland has been prepared for 2024, so you are more than welcome to go to visit on the Glosland website and download the calendar. You will see there are photos from various activities of Glosland from different regions, and will be nice also because there are some tips, some sentences for each month that would hopefully allow you to improve your analytical capacity. So please have a look to the calendar, download it, and print and put in your laboratories. And also, next Glosland meeting will take place in autumn 2024, normally around November. We hope to organize the meeting in hybrid modality. So hopefully some members of NENALAB will be invited to participate in person, and others will be able to join it virtually. So of course, all the Glosland activities are possible thanks to the support of a series of donors and partners. Some of them are here, but of course, each of you is playing a role. So thanks again for your commitment to NENALAB. Thanks again for all your participation, and well, the network is part of the network. So thanks for your commitment. I don't know if there is any question to these items, to this presentation. I'm reading the chat. In the chat, there are some questions about regional networks. Yeah, it's true that within the region there are some language and cultural barriers, but still we found some similarities in terms of procedures and equipment used in the region. Plus, in some cases, language barrier can be overcome in working within region. This is the case, for instance, of Latin America, of Eurasia, and I think somehow also in the NENA region. So also having the regional network would allow us to better implement activities within the region, because there is simply a smaller number of laboratories involved, and activities are easier to be implemented. For instance, the regional PT we're about to launch now for the African and NENA regions. Well, it's just easier to organize it rather than organize a global PT. So this is why regional networks have been established and are pretty much working well, I guess. I see an hand up from Mr. Karim Shabazi. So Karim, do you have any question or remarks on this?
Yes, hello Filippo, and hello everyone. I just want to know the support of policemen from do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. You said that the policemen support the national network about proficiency test. I wondering about how can Colossal support the national network in the case of proficiency test, because maybe you know that we have a proficiency test program for many years, and sometimes we face the serious problem. You know, it is very expensive and need financial support. I want to know how Galusaland can support financial support or technical support, or sometimes we need some software to develop to collecting data and analyzing them. I want to know how can Galusaland support us in this case.
Thanks for the question. Thanks for the question, Karim. Well, first of all, the first component that Lusoland can support laboratories in organizing national proficiency test is the capacity, right? So from sample collection, how samples should be prepared. We have some guidelines on that on the Glossland webpage on how to prepare samples for proficiency tests. Soon, hopefully, we will develop some training material with videos and photos. So first component is preparation of the proficiency test. Then we aim to organize some other capacity building on sessions on really how to draft the PT like from all the components. So which parameters to targets, how to launch a call, to guide countries in all the steps. So definitely we can do that, plus the statistical analysis. So once the samples are prepared, distributed, and countries provide back the results, Glossoland, for instance, has an online platform that can be used to smoothly collect the results without sending Excel sheets around. Moreover, the statistical analysis can be done, and Glossoland can help on that. We are soon, as I mentioned, we will soon publish a cookbook on the statistical analysis for proficiency testing, meaning that when you will collect all the data from the participating laboratories, you may apply the code that on R, for instance, that Glossoland will make available to process the data. And then also for reporting, we can support. So technically speaking, there are many experts in Glossoland. There are already some guidelines available, and these will be available for you to be to improve your capacity in organizing and implement a proficiency test. Regarding the financial part, Glossoland can help you by put you in touch to potential resources and donors. For instance, FAO offices in your countries have often some budget for such activities, or we can even develop together with them some projects called TCP, technical cooperation projects. This can be done to implement some activities within the national network. Can be meetings, can be training, can be proficiency tests. So definitely we can try to help you to get the needed financial resources, but also from the technical point of view, we are here to support and put you in touch with other countries, other experts, and make all the training material and guidelines available for you to be adopted, basically. I hope that answers your question, Karim.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I will contact you with email that how can you help us in this way? Yeah.
Yeah, please don't hesitate. We can then talk case by case, right? So
Yeah.
send us an email, then we can further discuss about that according to your country needs.
Thank you.
Thanks to you. I see there's another hand up from Sadek. Sadek Mejale. I think you're muted. Can you please unmute your microphone? We can still not hear you, Sadek. Sadek, we cannot hear you. Can you please unmute the microphone?
You are hearing me now?
Yeah, now it's perfect. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. I thank you for your presentation. And so please excuse me for the internet connection is not so well. I'm sorry for that.
No worry, no worry.
Okay. I have some problems in our laboratories, especially in some materials that are in many cases are out of date and they're old. Is there any possibility to do some budget for their maintenance or replace them to a new one? Because it's so hard, difficult to renew these materials. We have at least 3 or 5 laboratories in our institute, and we are suffering from this problem, especially for the spectrophotometer materials. And we have also another problem, which is the training of the people who can work with these photometers. We have this problem, especially when we are dealing with samples, with delicate samples, and we are dealing with micronutrients. Is there any possibility to fix that problem for us? We are suffering from this problem.
Thanks, Sadek. Can you please specify which country you're from?
Yeah, Algeria.
Algeria.
It's not Britain. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Well, thanks for the question. Well, I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, Grosvenor organized a global proficiency test, like a ring test. Then, according to the results of this ring test, we identified those countries who already got a nice level of quality, developing countries with a nice level of quality, but that were in need of new equipment. And we delivered an equipment. So FAO donate some equipment to these countries. From the NENA, for instance, the one laboratory from Lebanon received some equipment, especially like I think was a soil sample splitter. But you see, each lab was at different needs. So we delivered this equipment to those laboratories.
Yes.
Why? Because they were active. So my first suggestion is to be engaged with the Glossolan activity. So do participate in the proficiency test of Glossolan and NENA proficiency test, especially that we're about to launch, because we will be able to monitor what is your level of accuracy and precision according to your current status, your current equipment. So in case you will have problems with equipment, with quality, we will train you on quality. But if you already have a nice quality, but you want to improve by having more equipment, then we can procure more equipment together. Glossolan will have some budget in the next years to send some equipment to laboratories. But if you need special equipment or like larger equipment, more expensive, as I mentioned before to Karim, we can contact the FAO office in your country and apply to specific resources or apply to specific projects. We can do this together with the involvement of your focal point in the Global Soil Partnership. I don't know if you're already in touch with him, but please contact me and then we can start doing something. We can write a project, we can do something on this. There are already some good examples from the region. And for what concern training, this is totally possible. So I'm taking notes of your request about the spectrophotometer, because we can, for instance, organize a training for the region on that. Sorry?
Sometimes your speech is cut. It's
sorry.
It's about the connection. I'm sorry.
Sorry, but anyhow, we can follow up by email. But what I'm saying is that we can organize online training webinars, workshop on specific topic, like for instance, spectrophotometer. But also, as Glossoland has 1,000 of members, we can ask other laboratories if they're available to host your stuff. And it is possible. There are already examples of exchanges within the network. So there are some laboratories who are willing to host other colleagues from Glossoland, from NENALAB.
Yeah,
so I have,
good
for
idea.
instance, yes, there are some laboratories who are willing to know more about biological analysis, for instance, who are visiting other laboratories to do that. So how to cover the resources, then we can find ways. Sometimes institutes have resources for that. Some other times we can find other resources. But indeed, this kind of exchange capacity within the network is really like mirroring what is the spirit of Glossoland, right? We have laboratories that are willing to support each other. So we can then think about case by case. So again, get in touch with me, and we can further think about how what we can do, basically.
Okay. Thank you, Filippo. I will send you next week. Maybe I will send you an email about all that we have discussed.
Okay, thanks for that. So there is a question from Atya.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Okay.
Hello, Atya. Thanks, Sadek. I will wait for your email. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Filippo, and thank you for organizing this meeting. My question is, as Tunisia is interested to submit his interest for nutrient map, and the main objective is to see what is kind of suitability for using soil, and which kind of the best use of soils. Maybe we need some support for soil analysis interpretation, Filippo. So to link parameter of soil analysis to fertility and the best way of use this soil. Because with updating agricultural map, we need a layer of information, maybe traduced by nutrient map, and support for soil analysis interpretation is very important for Tunisia. I don't know how we could proceed, maybe a TCP or a session of support, or we could plan a Zoom and discussion about this, how to go to plan this activity with Glossen and NENA region network.
Many thanks, Satya. Many thanks for raising the point. Indeed, this is one of the main activities that we are expecting to do soon, because this is not only a request from Tunisia. And of course, I understand that considering what you're doing in the country, it is really important to do it now. But really, many countries are asking for this, even to harmonize the interpretation guidelines. So from one side, what we are doing as Glossoland is to include in the SOPs interpretation values. So some tables that are coming from different sources, which is very challenging because many times laboratory technicians or laboratory staff are not always soil scientists, people dealing with interpretation. They're just dealing with the analysis of sample. So then they deliver the numbers, the data, to the soil scientist, to the agronomist, whoever is taking care of the analysis, and then they interpret in the field. So this is not always done by Glossoland or laboratory people, let's say. Still, we are trying to include this in the Glossoland SOPs, especially to the new ones. At the end of the SOP, we're trying to include values. So starting from the most basic one, so pH values. What does those numbers mean? So and so on. So and related management in the field. Anyhow, within the Global Soil Partnership, an exercise is currently ongoing to develop something like that. So like a booklet to interpret soil values, soil data, and take actions in the field. This is done thanks to the support of not only Glossoland, but especially people in the INSEE, the network on digital soil mapping, and soil doctors and add other networks, because again, Glossoland could not do this alone because we are mostly laboratory people, but we need the support of people working in the field. So this exercise is ongoing, and we hope to deliver this kind of document somehow soon. The same will be done for soil sampling, again, because this is very important, right? So for some SOPs, we include information on soil sampling. For other procedures, we didn't, but it's key for many activities to have harmonized guidelines on how to sample soils. And then we have the SOPs of Glossoland to analyze them, and then guidelines on the interpretation of the results. So we are trying to address the three components. So I will keep you in the loop, but if you want to do something especially for Tunisia, we can maybe go for an SOP, a TCP, and develop maybe something targeting your local crops and your local soils. So again, write me an email. We can put you in touch with the facilitator of the national partnership. We can liaise with the FAO offices.
Yes, we can begin by sharing. I have collected some tables about interpretation of soil analysis, and there's some model also that we are using and testing on pilot area about suitability of soil for this kind, mainly crop or olive trees in Tunisia, main use of soil. So to link the soil parameter and modelization to get suitability for crop, and so we can beginning to share this document and discussing how we'll plan this activity to find interesting maps and output, very important output for Tunisia plan management of soil. Thank you, Filippo.
Thank you indeed. I think it's really key, because we really want to bridge, right, analysis and mapping and soil management. So we can start from country cases and then we expand. So yes, definitely get in touch with me, and we can continue by email.
Okay, thank you, Philip.
Thanks, Satya. Wait, sorry. So I don't think there's any other questions on this. If so, I would like to proceed the agenda, but normally now we should talk about the regional assessment for laboratories in the region, but due to time constraints, I would propose to switch the items. So first give the floor to Mr. Michael Watts, as he has to leave soon, also because we just discussed about the PT. So I would suggest to give the floor to Michael Watts from the British Geological Survey, and then to Mr. Mohamed Dafalla. I hope that is fine with you, Mr. Dafalla. We can first listen to the presentation of the regional PT and then give you the floor for the report.
Yeah, it is okay.
Okay, thanks for that. So, Michael, thanks for being with us. I will give you the floor. I ask everyone to pay attention now, because really we will discuss about the PT that we're about to launch in the region, in the NENA region as well. So again, we sent you an invitation some weeks ago, actually twice or even 3 times, to register in the exercise. I know many of you already registered. We are about to ship the samples to your laboratories, but if you didn't register yet to the NENALAB proficiency test, please contact me and I will give you the information, or check your mailbox. It's very important. From me or from my colleague Bellington, we contacted you, but please. Now let's listen to Michael Watts and make sure that you register to the exercise, because it's really unique opportunity to participate to that exercise. So Michael, over to you. Thanks again.
Okay, thank you. You just want me to cover the AFRI NENALAB presentation, or do you want the Glossoland PT?
Yeah, let's focus on the NENA one now. Maybe later we can also mention the global one.
Yeah, I haven't got that presentation. I think you have that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Great. Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. So this won't take very long. So we've got a few slides here to describe some of the process of the proficiency testing. So this will run across AFRILAB and NENALAB for this year. As Filippo said, you've had invites to join this. I will give you a little bit of background as to how this came about. So this was planned as a follow-up to the global proficiency testing scheme that was developed in 2021-22. So we developed some proficiency testing samples at the same time for AfriLab. And of course, now we're expanding this from AfriLab to NENALAB as well. So for the global PT in that year, we focused on soil carbon utilizing common methods, and that's the plan for the AfriLab and NENALAB approach this time. So using Dumas, Walkley Black and loss on ignition. So that was the focus, soil carbon. And I think that was in time for COP 26, 27 that was planned that far back, with a focus on carbon. So we had 10 grams of sample material. So you could use one or more of the carbon methods, depending on how much material you used of the 10 grams. So carbon being the focus, but many labs back in 2022 also provided data for nitrogen and phosphorus. But the focus is for carbon because that gives us a measure of the quality control procedures within a laboratory. So whether they exist, firstly, whether they can identify mistakes and corrective action, or whether quite often we can get an idea of the uncertainty on measurements, and if the difference between the group and an individual lab is quite narrow, then that suggests very good performance, or at least in harmony with the rest of the group. So we have 90 sets of soil proficiency testing samples. So they're prepared, as I said, at the same time as the global PT, 21, 22. At the time, 90 sets represented about 50% of the labs in Africa. I think that's right. And the NENALAB region, but there are many more labs. So how will labs be selected? This will be a combination of previous participants and representation across Africa. And sorry, I should have put Near East. I gave this presentation to the AfriLab group before Christmas, so that should say Near East as well. Plus the capability to provide required data for carbon. So Filippo mentioned that he has a questionnaire that he's sent to you. So please do answer those questions to be included in the next PT exercise for Africa and the Near East. So some of the things that will be useful to know is the number of labs in the country. Is there a national network established? If there is, then please provide details of that, and the number of labs involved in the National Soil Laboratory Network. It's useful to know the main activities of the labs in the country. And so is there already an organization of what we've called here ring tests or proficiency testing or inter-laboratory comparisons? They all mean fairly similar things. There are also organized training sessions, meetings, conference, and so on. The main needs of the labs in the country would be useful to know, and the main problems faced in establishing the network. So this is planned for very soon, I think, and there's nothing else to say on this short talk about AfriLab and NENALAB PT. I can talk a little bit more without these slides about the global PT, if you like, Filippo. Do you have the slides handy, or shall I just talk about it in general?
I will look for that, but we can just
Okay.
be mentioned, when and the type of parameters we would like to target. Yeah.
So, well, I can talk about the last global PT. So the last global PT had 10 soil samples, and they were of different soil types. So we had a variation in soil carbon, soil pH, and general soil chemistry, so metals and general trace and major elements. So we weren't providing these materials to really challenge the lab, so at very low or very high pH or extremely low carbon. They were simply providing some variation across the soil types so that we could identify the performance of the labs. We weren't trying to trick anyone. That's not the point of the proficiency testing. It's simply to provide some information about where the laboratories sit in the wider group of Glossoland. So what was quite interesting from that is that we had some replicate soils in that group, and that's something we'll look at in each proficiency testing. So that provided us an instant measure of uncertainty from those 10 soils. So we had a number of replicates, and we were able to identify the kind of uncertainty on the laboratories. Now we had quite a good split of how the data performed. So there are lots of statistical tests that we have on some nice slides that we can show you at a later date. What it basically indicated was a good news story. Whilst there were very good performing labs and there were some very poor performing labs on this occasion, and remember, this is only a test on the occasion that you do the proficiency testing, so everyone can have a bad day. What it suggested is that there were some labs that were performing okay, but could improve. So this is good news, is that we can identify good labs who can help the underperforming labs. So perhaps cross-training. But even with the underperforming labs, it showed potential for improvement. And it helps to inform where training and investment could be directed to bring everyone up to a similar level of performance. And that might be simply having very basic quality control procedures, even calibration and checks on basic equipment like balancers and pipettes and that kind of thing. So when we presented this in Senegal to the AfriLab meeting, one of the basic questions I asked of the audience of about 50 people was, does anybody have quality control system? So very few people, maybe 10 of the 50 said yes, they thought they did. When I asked, does everyone check their balancers every day or their pipettes every day? Maybe 3 said yes. Did anyone have check weights for their balancers? And I think maybe 1 person said yes. So there are very simple things that can be done to raise the quality at low cost and low effort. So nobody should be scared of these proficiency testing schemes. Even high-performing labs can make mistakes. The point is that we gradually grow the systems to find mistakes, and then we can identify them and correct them and make sure they don't happen again, and we can learn from them. So every lab will benefit from this approach. So do you want me to say anything else about the future global PT, or is that for another?
Well, I think it's fine. I mean, I think the point, and thanks for that, Michael, is that here participants are aware that now there is this regional PT, and then in the second half of 2024, we will launch this global PT, right? So, but I think also a take-home message should be that participating to these kind of ring tests doesn't it's not like an alternative to internal quality control. We have to make sure that all laboratories first are aware that about internal quality control procedures and implement them regularly. So we're talking about preparation of reference material, or at least use of reference material in your laboratory. And then the calibration of your instruments, starting from the balances, as Michael mentioned. So these are the key topics you should do before participating to a PT, because organizing a PT is costly as time consuming, and giving you the samples, of course, is something good because you can do that, but should be first, let's say priority should be given to the laboratories that already are able to have implement regularly internal reference, internal quality control procedures.
Can I make one point about proficiency testing, please? I think it's important for everyone to know that when you test these proficiency testing samples and you return the data, the measurements to FAO or to Filippo's team, they are anonymous. Okay, so if we go back, so BGS has prepared the samples, and we provide the homogeneity testing, the confidence that we have in the measurement of those samples. Those samples and that information transfer to Rome, and then all of the PT samples are shipped from Rome around the world. Now, we do not see that information at BGS, who has the samples. The data is reported back to FAO, and then it is all anonymized. That data And in the case of the last PT, transferred to Christian Hartmann at IRD France. So again, it was anonymous, so there is no way of identifying from the data which lab the performance data and the uncertainty is calculated on. So it's considered as a group, and at a lower level, a region. So you can compare Africa with Asia, with the Pacific, and so on, but it doesn't identify your individual lab. However, I'm sure you do have, you can compare your own results against the wider groups around the world. Filippo, I don't know if you produce an individual report back to each lab, I think. Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, each lab will receive an individual report according to your performance, and a global report will be done for each proficiency test.
Yeah, so it's important that everybody has the confidence that if you're worried about performing badly, and that can happen for everyone, it is anonymous, so it's in confidence. So do try and take part in this with complete enthusiasm, but secure and confident that your results are anonymous. Okay.
Well, thanks for that, Michael, for pointing out such thing. Maybe let me launch a poll. Just wondering if just to know how many of the participants already registered for the proficiency test. So the question is, have you registered already for the AfriLab and NENALAB PT that we are about to launch? Click yes. Of course, if you already send us back the information of your laboratory for the shipment and so, and please click no. Select no if you didn't register yet. Okay, I see. Actually, I will close now. Last 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Close. So I'm surprised that the majority of you didn't register yet to the proficiency test. I'm wondering whether you received the email from my colleague Bellington. If you didn't register to the proficiency test, please do contact me, right? And I will send you now the form, so you may be still in time to register to the event. So please write me an email, and I will send you the form. We already sent you twice. I think maybe it was a problem with your email. I don't know, or maybe you could not participate for any reasons. But if you can, and please, if you can participate, you are interested to participate to the regional PT, please send me an email. I will write my address in the chat once again. So I don't know if there is any question for Michael about the organization of the PT, or to me, I don't know, any questions about the proficiency test of Glossolan and for the proficiency test of NENALAB? Feel free to raise your hand or write in the chat.
Yes, Filippo, I just want to have an idea about if it is very interesting to participate each year for the same labs, or to give chance to other labs to participate, because we, as I understood, that there is not enough samples to serve all the labs. So I don't know if it is very interesting to repeat it each year for the same labs, or to give a chance to others to participate, or maybe we can have alternative participation. For example, we can participate in 1 year, and we try to improve our procedures, and the second year we can participate. I don't know if you have any idea about this, or if there is some rules to this. Yes.
Thanks, Abdelmajid. Well, so far we didn't have problem for amount of samples available. So for the global PT, we had samples for all applications, and the same as now. So far, we have about 80 laboratories that register for the AfriLab and NENALAB PT, and there are 90 sets of samples available, meaning that there is still a little bit of room for participation. So whenever we can give samples to everyone, we will do that. But in case we will not have samples for everyone, yes, maybe we can set up a rotational criteria or try to ensuring the participation for at least one lab per country. And then we can make, over tournaments. So we will see. I don't know, Michael, what you think about that, but maybe something like that can be done. Like maybe one lab can participate to the global PT and others to the regional PT.
It could be, but if you're only getting a 44% response to your request, then maybe there isn't an issue.
Yeah. So I mean, now
And you have to have a cutoff date, and if people haven't registered, then
Yeah, for this PT in particular, we still have like 10 sets available. This is it. So I think we will be enough for everyone. But in the future, yes. I mean, maybe the idea is that we can leave the national reference laboratories participating to the global one, and then we can have other laboratories participating to the national or regional PTs. But again, so far, as long as we have samples available, we will be more than happy to give to everyone. Also because it is a free exercise, while normally proficiency testing can be accessible under payment. So really encourage you to take the advantage of this opportunity. And thanks for the question, Abdelmajid.
It's probably worth knowing, Filippo. You said these are free. Quite often you might pay anywhere between, let's say, $500 and $1,500 to participate in a proficiency testing scheme each year. So it's a really fantastic opportunity to get a free participation.
Yes, indeed, that's true. Thanks. Karim?
Yeah, I just surprised that some laboratories didn't participate in this proficiency test because we all know this is very costly and time consuming, and it is for free. And sometimes laboratories have to pay for proficiency test in other programs, and it is really very great opportunity for laboratories to participate in this proficiency. I just want to encourage laboratories to participate in this program because it is free, and Volusoland worked very hard to establish this program. I know it is very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the acknowledgement and for the invitation, Karim. That's true. I can tell you, like, organizing the PT, first of all, preparing the samples and then organizing the PT, taking care of the shipment, like everything, like include the work of many people for arranging everything, especially for the shipment, but also for the preparation. So please take this opportunity and participate to the proficiency test, and of course, like respect deadlines and the parameters. So follow the instructions, because again, unfortunately for the past PTs, we faced that some laboratories didn't, for instance, receive the samples but didn't provide the results. And this is unfortunate because then it means that we could use the sample for another laboratory maybe. So please register to the proficiency test, do the analysis using the instructions that will be provided, following the instructions, and deliver the results in time. Again, you will not be judged against your performance. Nobody will have access to your performance except for me, basically. So all the people involved in the statistical analysis, shipment of samples, and so they will know anything about your performance. Everything is done using the anonymous ID code of laboratories. So please do that, and because it will be important for the laboratories, will be important for us to monitor your performance and to help you according to what you really need. So thanks again, and thanks, Michael, for providing the presentation. So please write me an email for those who didn't register yet to the proficiency test. Thanks again, Michael. Thanks for all of you for the questions. And now we can proceed with Mr. Dafalla, who I thanked for being with us. So you may recall that last year, actually the last years, we had a regional TCP, so a technical cooperation project in a region that focused on soil laboratories. The results of this was a series of training sessions for soil laboratory technicians and a report. This report is about a regional assessment for soil laboratories' capacity and needs in the Near East and North Africa region. So here with us today, there is Mr. Mohamed Salih Dafalla, who has been the report leading author basically for this project. And Mr. Rafala also visited many laboratories all over the region. So it will be nice to listen from him, I guess, to know more about the findings of the report. So Mr. Rafala, thanks again for being with us, and I will leave you the floor now.
Thank you, Filippo, for this opportunity to present the assessment.
Sorry, thanks. Can you put the slides in presentation mode?
Okay. Okay, it is my pleasure today to present the finding of the laboratory assessment and training project during the last year. And actually, I will use this opportunity to thank Mrs. Lucarizia Kwan for her huge effort to make this project successful during her position in the GSP, and she was done a very grateful work and also supervision and coordination. So this presentation will show out the status of soil laboratories in the NENA region, and it will consist mainly from a very basic introduction about the project itself, assessment procedure, and I will illustrate the main finding of the assessment and end up with some conclusion and recommendation. So as you know, that the project TCB RAP 3802 is concerned about capacity development for sustainable management of soil resources in RENA region to achieve sustainable development goal. Around 10 countries, they are contributed in this project, namely Jordan, Morocco, Lebanon, Iraq, Sudan, Tunisia, Yemen, Palestine, Oman, and Syria. The project starting was during 22 October 2020 and end up at April 2023. Actually, no, it is the total budget of the project was $400,000 US. The project have a very basic two components that concerning about soil laboratories, and the other one about soil data management and mapping. So in this presentation, we will concern about soil laboratories. So for soil laboratories activities, the implemented one, actually two activities. Activity one related to the laboratory assessment, and the outcome was a report showing the basic finding from this assessment, and also recommendation for government to be included in the national action plan. Also, there was training programs, and in activity two, training, and whether virtual or in person, and the outcomes in addition to the training of the technical and staff of the soil laboratories, there is some video recording of the training for virtual training, and also recording of training videos for in-person training. This capacity building was intended to target the beneficiary laboratories in the region, and I think there's some talks about GSP and also Glossolan and the regional ones, that in each country there is a national reference laboratory, and after registration of this laboratory, there is building up of a national network. And so we normally in this project, we encourage other laboratories to be involved in this registration process to be a national reference laboratory to lead the process of establishing of national network. So the beneficiary laboratories in this project, as I mentioned, it is in the NENA region, and here the number of laboratories, in some countries there is only one laboratories involved in the training, but in others countries like Sudan there is about 10 laboratories. Also in Iraq 7 laboratories, in Jordan 3. In Yemen also 2, but in general there variation in the number of laboratories that contributed in the in the training. But in general there are around 34 laboratories that they were assessed in this project. The assessment procedure for the laboratories to build the capacity of laboratories and generation of reliable data for decision making at all levels. This is the goal from the assessment itself, that to build capacity of laboratories, and also to explore some ways to overcome any obstacles or barriers that prevent the generation of good quality soil data. And as you know, that the process of production of good quality soil data is very important for decision making, and therefore there is a need for to assess the situation of the laboratories, the condition of the laboratories, whether they are able to do that or not. During the assessment procedure, there is normally we conducted a 5-day assessment period for each laboratory in each country, and the procedure content of questionnaire, and this questionnaire supposed to be filled and answered by managers and technicians. So for each country there is 2 questionnaires, one intended for managers and the other one intended for technicians. Also we ask the laboratory to send for us photos that show the instrument and building and all the infrastructure issues. In addition, we conducted a very huge personal contact, and here really we are very thankful for all managers and technicians in these laboratories, because we have a contact with them during the private time, even through email, WhatsApp, and even normal phone call. Here is the main finding of the assessment. We start with the status of infrastructure in the beneficiary laboratories to the project. The good things that most of the laboratories in a good condition during that time, except some laboratories in Iraq and Yemen, and this is due to this conflict in the region. And unfortunately, I think also now the situation in Sudan will not be good, but all in all, that's around 40% of the laboratory have a very good infrastructures, and around 33 they have poor structures, and 27% that in a moderate condition. With the infrastructure, we talk about building, we talk about the housing or the furniture, and mostly the situation in general is good. But also in terms of area of the lab, the space of the lab, we make some categorization. It is less than 100 meters square, 100 to 300 meters squares, 300 to 600 meters squares, and more than 600. So for most of the laboratories, they have around 100 to 300 meters, which is somehow it is good. But in some countries, the space is the area is very, very small. So even we have some talk about how the worker with the worker in these laboratories can survive even for issues related to the health and safety. The number of rooms per each, also we categorize it starting from 1 room to 10 rooms or more. In general, there is a huge variation, but around normally 2 to 4 more. Most of the laboratories, they have 2 to 4 rooms per lab. Here, number of departments, and it is very obvious during our assessment that most of the laboratories, soil laboratories in the region, they work in three basic categories. They have soil chemical analysis, they have soil physical analysis, and they have also analysis, plant or water analysis. So in general, they have around 1 to 3 departments. So it was very pronounced that most of the laboratories in the region, they work in soil laboratories, they work in soil analysis, water analysis, and plant analysis, in addition to fertilizers. So mostly they have always 2 to 3 departments per each. The management and financial setup. Regarding management, most of the laboratories, they have a very good management system. So it is well-established management system, but in terms of policies, there is a weak agricultural policies that promote soil laboratories in the region. Normally, the most pronounced engagement is related to the issue of accreditation of fertilizers, but there is no real policies that promote everyone in the country to conduct soil analysis. Also in the system, there is a very good soil sample registration and provision of result and recommendation in most of the laboratories. Also, there is a well implementation of standard operating procedures for soil analysis, and mostly in English or Arabic. And here, of course, we have to mention the good contribution from the FAO and also from ICARDA and GISAR. All these institutions, they work very well to improve the implementation of SOPs. There is a very weak to irregular governmental financial support, and also this may be due to the economical crisis in some countries and also to political instability in some other countries, but in general, there is no regular governmental financial support. However, in some countries like Yemen, Sudan, that fees of analytical services to the third party provide some financial support and can be used to run out the process, to cover the expenses of the soil laboratories. But in general, analytical fees there is, but the handling of this money is to some extent was governed by other institutions in the government. In most of the countries, it is the Ministry of Finance. So they have to deliver the money, and then they have to ask again for the budget, and this process somehow is take long term. The client for the soil laboratories in the region, basically they are governmental institutions and companies. Also, there is a private agriculture companies. And here in terms of private agriculture companies, we talk about investors. Sometimes we talk about some large companies, and in other countries they are small agriculture companies. But in general, they are they consider a very major client for the most of the laboratories. Fertilizer companies as well, in addition to international organizations like FAO, IFAD, and others, and also the farmers. And here we talk about the small farmers, and it is very good that the small farmers in the NENA region, they are asking for this soil analysis services, in addition to the non-governmental organization and universities. In most of the laboratories, the universities, when they ask for some services, the laboratories provide this with a very low price. So this a very good contribution from these soil laboratories in the country research, national research, and this will improve the quality of the graduates, and also will contribute in understanding the soil, national soils. The staff of the laboratories, in terms of contract, in most of the workers in these laboratories, they have a permanent contract. Only 13% they have a temporary contract, and this is actually very obvious in Lebanon, but in other countries, most of the laboratories, most of the workers and staff in the laboratories, they have a permanent contract. And this slide shows you the situation. As I said, basically Lebanon, they have a temporary contract, but in the others, mostly they have, the large number is permanent and the low one is temporary. Academic qualification of the staff. It is very good that most of laboratories, they have graduated staff. Half of them, they have BSCC, 36% they have MSCC, and 14 they have PhD. So in general, the staff is, I think, is well qualified, and they can conduct can conduct soil analysis and can interpret soil analysis in a very good way. Here also, here at the national level for each country, I think Iraq, they have large number of qualified person with BSCC. Here also the number of technicians in the labs and the maintenance technicians in most of the laboratories. They have a very good number of technicians in general, but all of them, they don't have a maintenance technician except Yemen. And even with the Yemen, the man or the one who concerned about this, the maintenance, he learned this by himself. So here really it is a very weak point in the laboratory, in the region, because the maintenance technicians, they will help very much to improve the equipment, and they can make some maintenance, so they can solve a lot of problems that face these laboratories, especially with equipment and instruments. The number of samples per type of analysis in the region annually, as I said, in general, most of the laboratories in the region, they have chemical analysis, physical analysis, plant analysis, water analysis, organic and mineral fertilizer, soil microbiology. And it is very obvious that the weakness in soil microbiology analysis. Here in most of these laboratories, they don't have a good equipment and knowledge in soil microbiology analysis. But in general, soil chemical analysis, they performed it in a very good way, and also soil physical, in addition to the water and plant. Here, this is the number of samples analyzed per each country. And here we have to admit that the number is not reflect the situation of countries, because in some countries there is many laboratories participate in the project, but in other countries the number of laboratories is not equal. So, but in general, Sudan and Syria, they have, in addition to Iraq, they have the large numbers in comparison with others. During the assessment, we ask most of the laboratories that about, is it this the real need of the country, or this is the capacity of the laboratories to conduct such number of samples? And as I remember, most of the laboratories said that the national demand for soil analysis is more, but actually this is the capacity. So this is a very promising issue that if there's some development in these laboratories, this can help a lot in development of these countries to carry out its task for analysis of soil and provision of recommendations that will be very helpful in sustainable management of soil and also increase the production of lands. Here's a number of pieces of instrument. We select 5 most relevant equipment to conduct basic routine soil analysis. It is atomic absorption, flame photometer, spectrophotometers, pH meter, and EC meters. And as you notice that the number to some extent is okay. Atomic absorption, they are very few because they are very expensive. So normally not all the laboratories have atomic absorption, but the national one in the country maybe have that one. But most of the laboratories, they have EC meters, they have pH meters, and also spectrophotometers and film photometer. Procurement system. We assess the procurement system, and actually it is follows standard international procedure that to replace or to buy a new one, it depends on its efficiency and accuracy of available device, and also availability of annual budget authorized by the ministry. Here we don't talk about the expire date of device, but actually the decision to buy a new one or replace is depend on its efficiency and accuracy. And this, according to the assessment, shows that the situation itself in the country is not good to buy a new one. But even if it is old one, but you will use it unless it is showed some malfunctioning, or it is give false results. And this as I said, very weak replacement or buy of new devices. And this is, of course, due to the economical and political crisis. And of course, when a laboratory faces this issue, this will affect the quantity and quality of soil analysis samples per year. And therefore, most of the audience today, they talk about the need for help from GSP, from FAO to have a new devices, new equipment. And this is actually, it is a claim, a very sound claim during the assessment. Most of the people thinking that after this assessment, they will have opportunity to have new equipment and new devices. Regarding training of the staff, It is good that most of the staff have BSc, master, or doctoral degree. But still, continuous training is very important. So some laboratories in Jordan, Palestine, Syria, and Tunisia have regular training to their staff, but in other countries, they don't have this opportunity. The laboratory itself provides training to university students and researchers. And also, there is a lack or there is a very low training program on health and safety and quality assurance, except for Tunisia and Syria. But most of the others, 8 countries, they don't have training on health and safety and quality assurance. And actually, this is the weak point in the laboratory in the regions, that they don't have health and safety and quality assurance and quality control. Also, this is one of the weakness in the laboratory, that drainage and waste management system is very poor, despite the presence of national laws or legislation. For example, in Jordan, Morocco, Tunisia, and Lebanon, but even there is laws, but not well implemented. So there is no specific waste management system. Actually, they use the public one. This has caused some problems, and even if there is some drainage system, it is not isolated from the public one. As I said, also the quality assurance and quality control, there is some weakness in this, but there are some quality assurance, quality control procedures in Jordan, Morocco, Palestine, and Syria, and moderately in Iraq by using a certified reference material, I think from the Nuclear Commission, and standard reagent and blank samples. The weakest one, Lebanon, Oman, Sudan, and Yemen. But the good news, despite all these conditions, Lebanon, Iraq, Jordan, Morocco, Sudan, Syria, Tunisia, and Yemen participated in the proficiency test organized by Glossolan in 2022. Palestine attempted to participate in BT, and Oman did not participate. Health and safety, as I said, there is a very weak health and safety system in the region, but relatively good in Oman, moderate in Iraq, Syria, and Tunisia, weak in Jordan, Lebanon, Morocco, Palestine, and Sudan, and very poor in Yemen. And this is very clear by not well distribution of ventilation system, and even in some laboratories, they consider opening of windows and turning on of the air condition as something to compensate for the absence of a ventilation system. The good one that most of laboratories have a protective cupboard, and most of the laboratories, majority of the laboratories have fire extinguisher. But all in all, the health and safety system in the region is very weak. The beneficiary laboratories, it is, as I said, it's 34 laboratories. They have strengths points that they are well distributed in the national territory to serve farmers in several agroecological zones. And also there is high qualified and committed human resources. And here, actually, I have to raise my hat for the Yemeni, because during the work, they said to me they are survived around 6 years without salary. And despite these hard conditions, they are work hard to provide services for farmers. Also, there is a very good, well-established administration and management system, as I mentioned. So after that, we came to the laboratory issues or needs. One of them is lack of equipment and consumable, especially for countries like Yemen, also like Iraq, Sudan, and consumable as well. Also, there is no enough technician, especially in the Lebanon. In Lebanon, there's 2 laboratories. In one laboratory, there is 1. And here I have to raise hat for Fillari from Lebanon, because then most of them, they work alone. There is need for technicians. And this is due, of course, for the absence of regular recruitment system. Also, there is a lack of regular training and skill improvement program. And also, as I mentioned, that the laboratories have all the instrument and equipment that in real need of maintenance or replacement. Also, the absence of maintenance technician. So one of the recommendations that raised by most of the laboratories, there is a need for a staff laboratory mobility program. And this could help laboratory technician and managers to increase their knowledge and eventually acquire international experience. Also, still there is financial constraint and inadequate direct cash incentive. And also because the instruments, they are very old, so they have frequent malfunctioning. And really, there is a big problem related to the electrical power supplies. It is unstable, especially, I think I can mention Sudan, Lebanon, Iraq, and Yemen. Of course, there is a very poor waste management and drainage system, and also weak health and safety systems, and weak quality assurance and quality control procedures. So in the regional report, we addressed out the laboratory needs, and they are categorized into 2. During the national, laboratories need were divided into 3 categories: need to be addressed through the project, what can be done by the project itself, TCB, and need to be addressed through a second phase of the project. And in the first one, need to be through the project, mainly we concern about training, but in the second proposed one, there is something related to the training and procurement, and actually we give a list of the needed instrument for each laboratory. And the other need to be addressed with the support of the government, so the needs that can be supported by the government itself. The achievement of the project, 227 laboratory technicians and managers were successfully trained. Some of them in person, like Jordan, Morocco, Oman, Sudan, and Tunisia. And others, unfortunately, online, Iraq, Lebanon, Palestine, Syria, and Yemen. Also, we produced training videos on the implementation of some SOPs were recorded during the training in Iraq, Oman, and Sudan. And this will be available on the Glossaland website. The training topics, actually, it covered most of the soil analysis, starting from soil sample collection and storage, and also preparation and implementation of global glossolans SOPs for analysis for chemical and physical soil parameters, pH, EC, soluble cation anion, available phosphorus by Olson method, analysis of total nitrogen, total organic carbon by Walkley and Plack method, management and disposable chemical, soil texture analysis, and also we concern about quality assurance and quality control for soil analysis, calibration, internal quality control, external quality control, and end up with soil report writing and interpretation of soil result and provision of recommendation and health and safety. So the training talks, they were very diverse and very comprehensive as well. The training was being evaluated by trainees, and we are very happy at that time that most of the trainee very satisfied with the training and trainer, and also they looking for future in-person training with long time and less intensive, because really it was very intensive training days. Also, as response to request of the government, training duration and modality was adapted to the number of trainees. That we always accept that anyone to come to us to have this opportunity. We were very flexible. So the higher numbers than expected one in almost all countries. Also, there is a request for additional training on topics like soil microbiology, fertilizer analysis, and maintenance of laboratory equipment. Trainees also suggested future project to include visit to soil laboratories located abroad to get more experience. Yeah, this is during our training, online training with Lebanon. Yeah, in Oman in person, and also here in Sudan in person, and here in Jordan in person. It was very nice days. I thank a lot for all. Okay, laboratories needs from
Mr.
national.
Dafalla, we should speed up a bit. Could you?
Okay.
Thanks.
I will finish within. So there is a need for establishment of regular national training, and also formulation and implementation of laws and regulation for the management of soil laboratories, waste, and disposal of expired chemicals. Also establish of policies and regulation on the minimum data quality required for decision making on soil, and also to issue permanent maintenance contract for regular checking and training and repairing of analytical instrument. Also, there is a need to establish policies and regulation on health and safety. Here's a conclusion and recommendation. The project successfully assessed the capacities and need of 34 laboratories. 227 laboratory technicians and managers were trained. Training was successful with some limitation related to the availability of budget and time, and the ability of trainers to travel to the different beneficiary countries in the project. Detailed information on each beneficiary laboratory specific need in terms of training and procurement. Training requests that could not be addressed through this project were included as recommended activities for future projects. So I try to exploit this opportunity that to request to find opportunity for the future projects, so that can help in provision of training and also for some instrument. Activities that require the direct intervention of the government were also identified, and also lack of political and financial support equipment and consumable, and the instability of the electrical power supply in many countries affect the ability of laboratories. Poor legal framework and regulation on the laboratory waste and drainage system, and there is a need for implementation of health and safety measures so that to minimize the risk of accident and the exposure of soil laboratory personnel to toxic substance, as well as the risk of releasing into the local environment. So there is a national government need to invest in solution to these issues. And also there is a need for support of national reference laboratories to formulation of national or regional project capable of addressing the training and procurement request. And actually, I insist on this. There is a need for formulation of national or regional project that capable of addressing the training needs and procurement requests by the national laboratories. And actually, they have a lot of hope about this. And dear Filippo, this is a very important task. I hope that you will be successful in this. And also regional finding can be used to promote the implementation of coordinate actions among countries and facilitate by endorsement of an international declaration on sustainable soil management for the region. And I think during the Oman workshop, they have some declarations that will bring the NENA region soil laboratories together. Execution of soil laboratory assessment for other countries and regions, as it has the potential to stimulate financial resource mobilization and policy actions. Thank you a lot. I hope that I cover all the issues. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Mr. Dafalla. I think this was a great achievement. I mean, reporting all the fundings of the project, and thanks again for doing that. I mean, I think the results is pretty important because it really can give us a nice review of the needs of laboratories in the region. So thanks for doing that, for conducting the project together with Lucrezia. Thanks for reporting it today. And I really suggest laboratories to use that to report all the activities, even in the national at the regional level. So whenever you want to motivate even your government or institute to give you to allocate more resources, this is a powerful tool to be used for that. Because really we know that we need more support from the countries, from your institutes, and this report can be used for that as well. So thanks for that, Mr. Dafalla. And definitely, yes, we will continue, and the need for more regional activities is noted. This is we listened before, right? They need to have more TCP, national projects for laboratories, procurement of equipment, proficiency tests, national networks. These are all activities that are in the agenda of NENALAB and Glossolan. I don't know if there is any question for Mr. Dafalla about this report, but I would suggest you to write in the chat. Maybe you can write your email in the chat, Mr. Dafalla, because we are a little bit in delay, and I would like to proceed with the next item. So in case you have any question on the report, please write in the chat, or you can contact Mr. Dafalla. Saying said so, I would like to really to go to the next item, which is the roadmap. Basically the roadmap of NENALAB for the next year. So the question is, we should then encompass new activities according to what Mr. Dafalla just mentioned us, right? Sorry, and about the needs of the laboratories in the region. So I draft few slides about the upcoming activities of Glossolan in the region. And I kindly ask Mrs. Yara Kairala, the other vice chair of NENALAB, to help me with the chat, and even if the other suggestions from the audience, to please let me know. So for the next year, so for this year, 2024, what will be the main activities of NENALAB, the main activities that the laboratories in the region will be involved in? So first of all, the regional inter-laboratory proficiency test. So the ring test that we presented today. So currently, there are only 19 registered laboratories from the 13 countries listed below. It is important that all countries are represented. It's important that all laboratories that are interested in participating in the PT contact me. So please do contact me as soon as possible, because this week we are closing the list and we will soon distribute the samples. So please to contact me, you will receive the set of 6 samples as shown in the image for your analysis. The PT will target soil organic carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus using different methods. More details will be given once you registered. Then, beside the ring test, that will be a big activity for the region this year, Glossoland will work on the translation of the Glossoland SOPs in Arabic and to organize more capacity building opportunities. I'm referring to both webinars and in-person workshop, where we can cover topics that you will be highlighting. So for instance, today we discussed about the importance of organizing and building the capacity, for instance, on the use on spectrophotometer, on the organization of proficiency test. Well, these can be topics that we can cover in webinars or even in a regional workshop. So please do not hesitate to contact us whenever you need to build your capacity, the capacity of your lab staff members on any topics that we can support, hopefully. Then after the ring test, we will take actions, meaning that we will group together the laboratories that have issues with the precision and accuracy, and we will target actions to build their capacity. And for those laboratories that already have good performance in both accuracy and precision out of the PT, we can support you maybe with more equipment. We will see later on. Other activities that we need, I think, are here to support laboratories and really to strengthen in NENALAB. So we have to involve more the laboratory, the members of the network, the laboratories in NENALAB. We have to invite new laboratories. So please, if you're aware of other laboratories in your country, do put them in touch with me, and I will invite them to register in NENALAB and in Glossoland. So we have to support countries with the establishment of national networks. And really, as Mr. Dafala pointed out, this report is just one, but we can develop also other awareness material to really raise the awareness on the role of laboratories in NENA region. This is key, and we should work more on that to get more resources, basically, because once government, institutions, organizations are aware of the role of laboratories in the NENA region, then more funds might be allocated to support laboratories, right? So these are some of the activities I point out. I put now in the editing mode. If there is any suggestions from the chat, you're more than welcome to write your suggestions or even take the floor in case you have any suggestions on this. Otherwise, these will be the main. These will be the main activities for NENALAB for this year, and then we will be revising the activities in the annual meeting, hopefully in November. Is there any other topics you would like to include in this work plan, or is that fine with you? So again, proficiency test, translation of the SOPs and capacity building activities, and other activities to support national networks and in the involvement of the laboratories from NENA region. I'm now looking at
Mr. Ali Mahdi,
Hello, Yara.
yes, is asking if, hi, how are you?
Fine,
Is there
thanks.
any training in Libya?
Again, if what we're looking for online training, we can do that. So we can organize webinars for NENA. We can do them in Arabic, we can do them in French, in English, in the language you would prefer. So as soon as you have any topics you would like to be trained on, let me know and I will organize webinars on that. We did already last year, sorry, 2 years ago, we did webinars on health and safety in laboratory in Arabic. We did sessions on the measurement of the saturated soil paste extract and electrical conductivity, or we can do more. So contact me and let me know the topics you would like to be trained on, and we can organize that. So even Ali, if you have any suggestions, any requests, let me know.
Sorry, can you give me the floor?
Please.
Thank you, Filippo and Yara and all the participants. As you know, Filippo, because we did a lot of job last few months, particularly in assessment a lot of laboratories around Libya, and we highlight some points and some needs. And actually, we asked our ministry and our research centers to to do a lot of things, and they did that, and we are in a good situation now, particularly in maybe 2 or 3 laboratories in Libya. But we still actually we need support in particularly in capacity building in 1 or 2 laboratories. And we couldn't test some, or we couldn't encourage some laboratories to test or to enjoy to this actually to this activities with FAO, because we know that there are a lot of problems, particularly in how they evaluate or how they test some analysis like soil organic carbon or phosphor, and we manage a lot of course training during this month. But actually, we need support from other countries around of us, like Tunisia or Morocco, or Dr. Salah said, or particularly from the FAO. Thank you.
Well received, Ali. Yeah, definitely, yes. I know sometimes webinars, online training can be challenging because of connection and so, but we can also record the session. You can access them later on. Also, I will try to allocate some budget this year from Glossolan so we can send, let's say, expert or people from other laboratories, other countries, other regions to visit other countries. Meaning that if you need certain capacity building activities, we may send experts to you to be trained, for instance. We did it many times, we can organize it again. But the easiest is to organize online sessions. So if you had any request, please let me know and we can start doing that. No problem. Also, let me know the topic, send me an email, topic and language, yes, and we can organize. Yes, please, Yara.
And again, Jalal is suggesting harmonizing interpretation of soil analysis results. Well, I suggest making some channels for interpretation of soil results, even though the soils are not in the same quality, but we have more results, and to focus how we plant and what type of plants can we use in each soil, so we can harmonize this. I don't know, he's suggesting this.
Yes, I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes about this. Yeah, this can be done. We can organize a workshop where we can share the different approach done by laboratories and countries and see if there is a way we can harmonize them. Definitely, yes, I'm taking notes of that. Thanks, Yara, and thanks, Jalal. Thanks, Ali. Well, is there any other comment on this, on the work plan? I don't see. Anyhow, and really consider NENALAB and Glossolan as something that is a tool that is here available for you. So anytime you have a request, just contact me and we can find something together. I see this is an end up from Mr. Dafalla, so maybe you want to take the floor.
Yeah, I just want to say for the other colleague from the other NENA region that during the training session, there was recording for most of the training sessions. So it can be used, because even we use a hybrid mode, is that we speak in Arabic, although the presentation is in English, but we have to improve or to get benefit from this and try to overcome the language barrier. So I think if there's some arrangement with the national laboratories that receives trainings, it can be used for others. So
yes, that's true. We're working on that. Actually, we are finalizing the videos. There are many training material collected from the project. That's true. Thanks again, Mr. Dafalla. And we are working on that to make this training material available into a nice videos. So this will be done definitely with different subtitles. So thanks for that. Well, if there is no other additional comment, we will work on these items. Thanks for the suggestions. Yes, I think there's a microphone open. Well, next item in the agenda is the last one about the governance. So we have to review the governance of NENALAB, right? Because the term is ending. So we need a new chair and two new vice chairs, one from Middle East and one from North Africa. So I'm now I would like to share with you the list of people who shared their candidacies, and I will then give them the floor to maybe briefly introduce themselves. The candidates for the position of, the candidates we received are one is Yara Khairallah from Lebanon, who is currently the vice chair of NENALAB already for Near East. Then there is Karim Shabadzi from Iran, and then Mr. Chiragi. So I will now give the floor to each of them to briefly introduce themselves and maybe clarify if they are running for the position of chair or vice chair of NENALAB, or even both positions. So I will start by Yara. So Yara, maybe you can present yourself, introduce yourself, and share your vision about NENALAB, and see if you are for which position you are running, if chair, vice chair of both of them. After the presentation of the candidates, we will proceed to the nomination of the three roles. Actually, there are three candidacies, so maybe we can find position for all of them. But first, presentation. So please, Yara, over to you.
Okay, can you see the screen? Okay, my name is Yara Khairallah. I am running for the position of chair. Just a second. Okay. As for my background, I hold a PhD in biochemistry. I work in the Lebanese Agricultural Research Institute, Lebanon. I hold the position of head department of fertilizer and plant in this institute. I used to occupy the position of vice head of soil department. At LARI, I conduct researches on plant stress performance, fertilizers usage, application and effect on crops, and these findings are published in peer-reviewed journal. We collaborate with other scientists from other universities. I prepare tenders for laboratory equipment. We give training to agronomy technician, farmers, with collaboration with different NGOs, and I work as a lecturer at some universities. As for the involvement in Glossolan and NENALAB, in 2019, we implemented the LARI laboratory into Glossolan. We participated in SOP harmonization in Lebanon. 2021, we participated in the training that Mr. Dafalla gave us in Lebanon. In 2020 and 2022, the participation in the steering committee of NENALAB, and till now, I hold the position of vice chair of NENALAB for the Near East. As for my vision for the NENALAB, well, if I was elected, I'd like to expand the collaboration between all the laboratories of the same network and with other networks. And I work for united standardization method as possible in all laboratories. Provide support for farmers, as we said above, by developing a channel to analyze their soil lab result. Communicate with the INFA for mutual benefits, because fertilizers and soils are very communicated. So we have a relationship between soil parameters and element provided by fertilizers application. And we aim to organize a brief periodic meeting between to exchange expertise. Thank you.
Thanks again, Yara. So sorry, I didn't get you. You're running for the position of chair or vice chair?
Chair, for the position of
Okay,
chair.
Great. Thanks for clarifying. Thanks for that. Thanks for preparing the presentation. I will now give the floor to the next candidate, who is Karim Shabadzi. Hello, Karim.
Just a minute, please. I try to share my screen.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah. So, do you have my presentation?
Yes, we can see that.
Thank you very much that you give me the floor. My name is Karim Shahwazi, the PhD in soil chemistry, fertility, and plant nutrition. I'm specialized in environmental and agricultural laboratory analysis, instrumental analysis, and method of development of soil, plant, water, and fertilizer methods analysis. I am head of laboratory department in Soil and Water Research Institute for more than 9 years. This laboratory is very old and it's established 60 years ago. And at this time, it is responsible for quality control and establishing of national soil laboratory networks. And also, I was the deputy of soil fertility and plant nutrition department for 2 years, and I am visiting professor in the University of Tehran and other university, and I'm responsible for advanced soil chemistry and soil testing and instrumental analysis. You can see that our networks, National Soil Laboratory Network of Iran, that I think it's maybe one of the first national laboratory networks that is established a few years ago. And our department is responsible to manage these laboratories. We have more than 60 private laboratory and more than 30 government soil and water laboratories in this network, and we are responsible to technical support of all private and government laboratories and also quality control of these laboratories, governmental and private, and we publish the reports and send the result for each laboratory, like equality and proficiency test. And it is a big deal with these laboratories. In the case of Gulusaland, the Soil and Water Research Institute Laboratory, I think it's the first laboratories that joined to the Gulusaland network in 2017 and as a national reference laboratory. I remember that I am the first person. I had the first presentation of report for Near East and North Africa Soil Laboratory Networks in the second meeting of Gulusaland in I think 2018. And I'm also leader in development of 2 SOPs in Gulusaland. This SOPs for determination of inorganic carbon that you can see in this FAO website. And also I present the National Soil Laboratory Network of Iran in the 3rd NENALAB meeting. And you see that we have a good experience in establishing a national network and quality control and managing and good governance of these laboratories. And also, as you know, we have a great collaboration between Soil and Water Research Institute and USDA and Nebraska in Gulusaland platform that we done a great research and assess and develop of methods for inorganic carbon that have a fruitful result that we will publish in new futures, and we can see the nice result of this cooperation in a Gulusaland platform. I will my vision for NENALAB. I will attempt to NENALAB network play crucial role effectively and efficiently inside Gulusaland. And encourage each country to establish national soil network. We have a good experience in this area and attempt to raise awareness of importance of NENALAB network and encourage other laboratories to join this network. And also, I think training of the laboratory staff is the first and the most important priority, especially in the case of safety and waste management, that it is important to carry out this training course. And also share the experience among the nearest and most critical labs, another priority in this case. We should upgrade the standards of the lab and run the quality control program proficiency test among the and also intra-laboratory test in this network. It's very important, and promoting the laboratory good laboratory practice is very important. I think we need to have regular meetings. I attempt to organize the regular meeting of NENALAB. It's very important. Exchange resource and knowledge and experience is very effective. And also we have a good experience in visiting of laboratory staff from other laboratories or laboratory staff from other countries. We have a good experience in this area. So we thank you for your attention. We have to have a hard effort to upgrade this network. We have to work together to progress this network and put this network in a good position. Thank you so much.
Many thanks, Karim, for presenting yourself and sharing your vision for NENALAB. I will now give the floor to Syed. Syed Shiragi. I hope I pronounced it well, sorry. Yes, Syed, over to you for your presentation. But wait, I think you're still muted. Can you please unmute the microphone?
Yes, hello?
Yes, we can hear you, thanks.
Yes, thank you. Hello to everyone. I thank Jerusalem for arranging this meeting and in general helping the laboratories to improve their performance. My name is Syed Cheragi. I am representing Parham Coastal Laboratories, main specialties in soil, water, plant, and fertilizer analysis. Also, there are other departments of microbiology, food industry, and animal feed. The laboratory we officially registered in 2021. We are also a member of International Network on Fertilizer Analysis, on salt-affected soils, and we have participated in the development of several SOPs with Jerusalem. About the education, I have a PhD in soil physics and background in irrigation. As far as the history of the work I've done, mainly most of my career I was involved with research. As a researcher and specialty on salinity, where I was the director of National Salinity Research Center in Iran. Some of the work that especially was done in salinity and was in the area of Near East was a work that we jointly done with FAO Water for Agricultural Project Production in the Near East. Also working with CGIAR challenge program on water and food for improving agricultural water productivity. And with also the same project with ICBA, International Center for Biosaline Agriculture, and IAEA. Yeah, current projects that I am involved right now in the laboratory, we are comparing the measurements of several parameters like boron measurements in soils, a large number of samples, and also cation exchange capacity and exchangeable cations in calcareous and saline soils. I'm nominating myself for either chair or vice chair. Thank you.
Many thanks, Syed, for introducing yourself. I think now we should move to the election step. So if everybody agrees, I would like to do it using a poll, meaning that I will now share on your screen the name of the 3 candidates for the position of NENALAB chair. After that, we will discuss about the NENALAB vice chairs, right? So the question is again, who would you like to nominate as chair of NENALAB for this year and next year, basically, 2024, 2025? We have 3 candidates. So if I got it right, 2 are from Iran and 1 is from Lebanon. So it's Yara Khairallah, Karim Shabazi, and Sayed Cheraghi. Please, yeah, only one option to choose. So please vote. I see there are still some people who need to vote. There are a few people missing. A few seconds left. Okay, I'm closing the poll. So it seems 58% of the results have been given to Mr. Karim Shabazi. So I would like to officialize this, nominate Karim Shabazi as chair of NENALAB for these 2 years. Well, congratulations to Karim. Now we should discuss on how to proceed for the vice chair of NENALAB. Anyhow, thanks a lot to Syed and Yara for the candidacies. I'm sure you will be able to help NENALAB anyhow, because there is a steering committee of NENALAB that will be revised. So after this, I will ask Syed and Yara to join the steering committee. Anyhow, I will contact you later on. So you will be still able to help the chair and the vice chairs with their work. Now we should agree about the vice chair of NENALAB. So in the last years, we used to have 2 vice chairs, 1 for Near East and 1 for North Africa. Anyhow, we didn't receive any candidates from North African region. I don't know if there is any among the present who would like to candidate as a vice chair, someone from North Africa who is willing to do that. If there is anyone from North Africa who would like to candidate for such position. Otherwise, we will proceed only with one vice chair. But I think it would be better to have 2 vice chairs. So again, is there anyone from North Africa who would like to candidate for the position of vice chair for North African only? Then we will discuss about vice chair for Near East.
I will
Yes.
encourage Mr. Jalal Al-Qadi if he want to join to this position.
Yes, yeah. It was also my suggestion. So maybe it will be more interesting if we can choose another one from Libya or Tunisia or Algeria. No problem, because I was vice chair for the last period. I'm from Morocco, so it will be interesting if any one of our colleagues from the different countries of North Africa can candidate for the vice chair. Personally, according to my experience as a vice chair, so I have many interaction with the Libyan colleagues. So I don't know if they are interested to be a vice chair, so they can suggest someone, maybe Dr. Jalal or Ali. Donc, if there isn't another suggestion from other countries, Tunisia or Algeria or everyone who wants to candidate is welcome. Yeah.
That's great, Abdelmajid. Nice suggestion. Again, thanks again for what you did so far. You did a lot over the last year, first as chair and now as vice chair for North Africa. So I would like to go back to the suggestion of Abdelmajid. Is there anyone from North Africa who would like to serve as vice chair of NENALAB? So I see there are a number of people here. There is Noah, Atia, Ali. Actually, I'm not familiar with all of you, but if there is anyone from North African countries who would like to serve as vice chair, please let me know. Otherwise, we will keep it we will follow up by email. But if there is anyone who would like to do it, please let us know.
Hi, Filippo. I'm Hannah.
Hello, Hannah.
Yeah, hello, everybody. I'm joining what Mr. Zahria have said. I prefer, if it is possible, Libya or Tunisia. If there is no one, maybe Morocco. I have been already a vice chair before, but we would like to let the place for our colleague if it is possible.
Yes, thanks for that, Anna. Indeed, Anna also served as vice chair from Morocco, and both Anna and Abdelmajid are from Morocco. So both of them already served for Morocco already served twice as chair and vice chair. So it would be great to have someone from another country. So I don't know if someone from North Africa is willing to do that now. Otherwise, I will send you another email later on asking for candidates. Let me have a look in the chat if there is anyone who would like to candidate. No one from North Africa? Well, maybe in the meantime, let's go back to vice chair for Near East. So I kindly ask Sayed and Yara whether they are interested to run as vice chair for the Near East. So Sayed already said yes. Yara, would you be available to candidate also for vice chair?
I think Jalal, he say I agree.
Okay, Jalal.
Jalal Al-Qadi.
Okay, so wait. Okay, so from Jalal Al-Qadi, which country is that? Is it Libya?
He is from Libya, and I think, yeah, he is from Libya.
Yeah, sorry, I was not familiar. Okay, great. So, Jalal, if everybody agree, there is no anyone against that, I will confirm Jalal Al-Qadi as vice chair.
We are glad that he is the vice chair of North Africa. Yes.
And you know him, Dr. Abdelmajid.
Yes, yes.
Everybody is happy with that. Great. So thanks, Jalal. Thanks, Ali. And I will then follow up with you. Now, let's go back to the Near East. So we have different options, right? Because Sayed was candidating himself also for vice chair. Yara Kairala, are you willing to candidate yourself for vice chair position as well?
Yes, no problem.
Okay, let me launch a poll now for vice chair. So, sorry, is there someone? Okay.
Yes, Filippo.
Yes.
As I mentioned to you in the email, if there is somebody who wants to take the position or already had the position, I don't mind to withdraw.
Okay, so are you willing to withdraw in favor of you? Also, because you're also from Iran, so I think as Karim is also from Iran, is the chair. I think it's better to have someone from other country. So, well, in this case, no need to launch a poll. Yara, you will be nominated as vice chair for NENALAB for the Near East. So, well, thanks for that. And thanks for that, Syed. I think it was really nice from your side, and I will invite you anyway later on, Syed, to join the steering committee of NENALAB to help with the chair and the vice chair with your point of view and your commitment. So you will still be able to help a bit. So thanks a lot, Syed. And well, congratulations to the new governance. So there is Karim Shabadzi from Iran, the new chair of NENALAB, Yara Kairala, the new vice chair for the Near East, and Jalal El-Ghadi, the new vice chair for North Africa. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to the chair and vice chair of the last term. So Riham Zahlam from Syria, Abdelmajid again, Hannah Nabil, all of you did a great job over the last year to reinforce NENALAB. And for sure, we'll continue working together in the framework of NENALAB. So thanks again. Thanks to all of you. Sorry, we got some delays, but I think it was nice to meet again. I hope once we'll be able to meet in person again. Thanks again for the participation. I will make the video recording, the presentations, and the report available on the NENALAB webpage soon. And I will contact the new governance for a meeting of the steering committee of NENALAB soon. Thanks again. I don't know if Karim, you want to say something to close the meeting as a new chair of NENALAB?
Thank you. I just want to thank everyone who trusted me for this position, and thanks Abdul Majid for hard effort during the few last year for establishing NENALAB and progress this, and Yara that I saw that hard effort for establishing this network. And I need the help of all of them to establish and upgrade this NENALAB network. Thank you again, all of you, for in this position. Thank you.
Thanks to you, and definitely we will continue working together. Thanks
Thank you very much for all. I'm glad, and thank you for this trust, Mr. Abdul Majid and Dr. Filippi, Mr. Ali, Dr. Karim, Yara, all of you. Thank you very much for this trust, and I hope that Allah help us to do what you wish. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
And well, see you in the next NENALAB meeting, and have a nice rest of the day. Congratulations to the new governance. Thanks to everyone. And anything you need, please contact me, especially for the ring test of NENALAB. Please do register and contact me. All the best, and I wish you a nice year.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay. Bye. Bye, everybody. Okay.
Bye.